We're back.
And we are back. Is it live or is it Memorex? So the question at hand is, can politicians, or anyone for that matter, I mean, I guess people can change, but it's been my experience, I don't see politicians changing. They evolve, right? They can evolve. I mean, they're human, at least most of them. But this whole notion that somehow this is sort of the new Kamala Harris. And look,
bruh.
If people want to support her, let her support her. If people think she's best for Israel, I think they need their head examined. I don't get it because she's going to be, in my opinion, the first pro-Hamas president. She's already put pressure, on both as vice president and even as a senator on Israel, which leads me to the next thing. So here's the thing. You know who UNRWA is?
Oh,
United Nations Relief and Workers, whatever. So several people are suing UNRWA because somewhere upwards of 19 or 20 of their members are known to be members of Hamas and participated in the October 7th massacre.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of stuff that came out, right? Like there was terrorists hiding in an UNRWA bunker or something like that. There's like all kinds of evidence that they're basically an arm of Hamas.
Right. So for those people who think that Joe Biden or Kamala Harris are pro-Israel, the UN has now come out and said that they are immune because they're UN workers and we do not we do not relinquish our immunity. And the Biden administration is supporting the UN's position that these people who participated in the October 7th attack under the aegis of the United Nations have immunity and therefore cannot be touched. And the Biden administration just issued a notice. You think I'm lying? I'm not lying to you. The Biden administration just issued a notice that says we agree with the United Nations. There you go. Ready? Biden and Harris administration backed the UN bid to shield October 7th terrorists from prosecution. If the laws don't apply here, then the question is, where do they apply, and to whom other than you and I?
I am legitimately speechless. I mean, this is a new low.
Actually, it's not a new low. We've been at this level of lowness, but people don't understand. Look, and again, it goes back to what we talked about. Our job is not to tell you what to think. Our job is to get you to think. You can think whatever you want to think.
And this is why.
And then act.
And this is what, how many people gave Donald Trump so much crap for wanting to pull out of NATO and the UN. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't even know how bad these organizations were until the last, several years or so. You just see ladies and gentlemen, here's all you need to know. Okay. China, that has Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps or work camps, is on the UN Human Rights Council. Okay.
Commission.
That's that's all you need to know. This is the most, I can't even.
Wait, I think we have a comment. Sean says, Israel is the Jewish ISIS. You support killing Palestinian children, lady.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that one. I'm not a lady, so I guess he's talking to you, but I'll chime in when you're done.
No, that's what I was talking about. That's why I said, hey, if you don't like it, thanks for hate watching. All your comments are great for the algorithm. Here's the thing.
Talk to me.
Is it's cute to say. And yeah, it hurts a little bit because
what's cute to say?
It's cute to say, oh, you're killing Palestinian children. Like, no, I don't support the killing of Palestinian children. And I blame Hamas for that. I don't blame Israel for that. I blame Hamas for that. Why? It's Hamas's fault that Palestinian children are dying. It's why I've got these dog tags on here to remember the hostages, the Israeli and some previously American hostages, if everybody has forgotten.
There's still some.
So there are still 40, 50 hostages in theory alive. So Hamas is responsible for all of the death of the Palestinian people, and I will not be made to feel guilty for that.
So let me add to what you're saying. My issue is it is not Israel whose charter calls for the destruction of another people, right, from the river to the sea. It's not Israel that uses children as suicide bombers. It's not Israel that hides munitions in temples or churches or mosques or schools or hospitals. And by the way, just today, Hezbollah sent, I don't know, another 80 missiles, killing a Palestinian child in Israel. And let's remember,
they don't care.
There are no Jews that live in, the West Bank or Gaza, right? Or Judea and Samaria, as we like to call it.
Right.
But there are Muslims, there are Christians, there are Jews that live in Israel, and they live by and large harmoniously in Israel. So to this person, Sean, my question to Sean is, why doesn't Israel have a right to defend itself? Israel did not launch the attacks on October 7th. And if you're listening, Sean, I would love your comments on this. Tell me why Israel shouldn't defend themselves. And given that Hamas and Hezbollah, who do the same thing, Hezbollah actually pays people to store munitions in their house.
That's
Hamas
right.
doesn't even do that, right? What was Israel supposed to do? Just disappear, not defend itself?
Apparently.
So
Let's see if he comments. Sean, let's hear it.
So I want to come back to this whole UN thing. Quote, The United Nations has filed paperwork in an American court in a bid to secure legal immunity for suspected participants in October 7th atrocities in southwestern Israel who were employed by the UN agency at the time of the massacre. Over 100, I got my numbers wrong, over 100 UNRWA employees have been identified as that. And not to be outdone, the Biden administration, the filing in the American court said, since the UN has not waived its immunity, I'm sorry, wrong comment. The Justice Department filed the following endorsement to the UN's invocation of immunity. Quote from the U.S. Department of Justice. The plaintiff's complaint does not present a total legal basis for claiming that the United Nations waived its immunity. Therefore, because the UN has not waived immunity in this case, its subsidiary, UNRWA, retains full immunity, and the lawsuit against UNRWA should be dismissed due to lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
Oh, my God.
Basically, they're using legalese to support the UN UNRWA workers who are members of Hamas. This is the Biden-Harris administration, which is why when people say to me, oh, Kamala Harris is going to be better on Israel than than Donald Trump, I don't get it. And someone needs to, I mean, you're all entitled to your opinions, but someone needs to show me facts. All the facts that I see based on prior policy positions, based on pressuring Israel, based on the fact that Israel is to blame for the 6 hostages that were brutally murdered by Hamas, that Israel is to blame for the attack of October 7th, that Israel is to blame, and everyone's allowed to defend themselves except for the Israelis.
That's
right.
They
should just die. They should just die and go away.
Yep. That's, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is the same organization that has perpetuated SA on children and refugees, words that I'm not supposed to say on the YouTubes. Act of gratification against one's will is a known problem with the UN in Africa and in all of these places where you have refugees. So defund the UN, #defund the UN. That's
I
my
want to
position.
come back to Sean's comment. So Jewish ISIS. So that would mean that basically that Israel is a terrorist country, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Jews are terrorists because they're killing children allegedly, right? And there are civilian casualties. I'm not sure I believe the Hamas numbers, right? I mean, they've been shown to be grossly exaggerated, but there's no question there's been civilian casualties. My question to Sean and anybody else who I would say is sort of on the Hamas sympathizer side, or what I call the Hamas lobby in this country, what was Israel to do after October 7th?
Take it. Suck it up and take it.
Well, I'm not asking you. It's a rhetorical question. It's a rhetorical question.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Sean. I was answering for you. I do that to my husband too. It's a natural reaction. My bad.
And I'll bet you he doesn't like it either.
I'm woman-splaining.
You are woman-splaining. The other thing that people need to understand is Israel is under attack even now. Hezbollah has been, I think up until this week, let me see the numbers. To date, and this is dated September 19th. So what are we now? So a week ago, as of a week ago, Hezbollah, and we're not talking Hamas, right? We're talking Hezbollah.
Right, now we're in Lebanon.
Now we're in Lebanon.
Israel.
And remember, Lebanon used to be a Christian country, right?
Yep.
And Beirut was the jewel of the Middle East. How's that working for you guys in Lebanon now? To date, Hezbollah has fired over 8,000 missiles at Israel. 8,000. And you're about to see a ground war. And one of the people who wasn't able, committed to Israel Appreciation Day, General, Amir Avivi, came out and basically said, we're going to ignore the United States. We're going to get sources from somewhere else. They're not our ally. Well, he didn't say that. I'm paraphrasing. He did not say that. But that we can't depend on the United States. We need other sources. And this is going to enter into a ground war phase. So if you look at where you were in 2020 and you look at where you are now, regardless of that, Kamala Harris said that there's no active war zones or, military and U.S. military and active war zones around the world, which is totally false. Thank you, ABC News.
Again, no fact check. No fact check.
You're going towards World War III if you're not already there. And you have the U.S. being invaded.
Literally. We have millions of unknown people just pouring into our country. At the same time, we are in multiple front wars with allies being attacked. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine what China's going to do with the South China Sea?
President Biden gave a speech today at the United Nations. Guess who wasn't there? Right? Who wasn't there was President Xi. Who wasn't there was President Putin. Who wasn't there was Kim Jong-il or Kim Jong-un. I forget, father, son. I always get those two mixed up.
Kim Jong-un.
Right? Kim Jong-un. So because honestly, I think they already knew what he was going to say. They don't need to be there, and they certainly didn't want to come to the U.S. to do that. But I want to go back to this whole Hezbollah war, which is now imminent, because you're now going to have a two-front war or a three-front war.
That's right.
So, quote, the Biden administration has tried to forge a deal in which Hezbollah will stop firing at Israel in exchange for Israel withdrawing from strategic military positions on the Israeli side of the border, including Hardov, which is an important observation point on
Get out of here. Get all the way up out of here. I mean, the Biden-Harris administration might as well come out with "from the river to the sea." What? Just hashtag it, bro. And then just let everybody know. Stop trying to pretend in public like you care. Oh, good golly.
Yeah, but wait a minute. It's even deeper than that. Israel has territorial sovereignty. They're basically saying, Israel, give up some of your land. Forget about that. It's a strategic position. If you've never been to the Golan Heights, I've been to the Golan Heights, and you're on the top of the Golan Heights, and you can see Syria and Lebanon, and my arm wasn't that good at baseball, but it's pretty close enough that I could throw a baseball. Right. I mean, you're right there. So obviously from a
get out of here
standpoint, you always want to fire down. Right.
Yeah.
So for Israel to give up the high ground.
That's what I'm saying.
But wait a minute.
Hasn't everybody seen Star Wars? Anakin.
No, wait.
Anakin, no. I've got the high ground. You're going to get your arm cut off. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my former co-host, Ericka. But here's the point.
These people are not serious.
It's not just that it's a high ground. It's that they are trying to force Israel to give up territory for peace with Hezbollah. So there's a truce. It's not really a peace. When there's the UN resolution, I want to say it's resolution 1701 that says Hezbollah is not supposed to be in the north of Lebanon anyway, but not only do they not listen to it, it's not enforced by the UN. So now you're supposed to make peace, or wrong word, excuse me. You're supposed to have a truce, give up some of your territorial sovereignty, not only strategically, but just the whole concept of giving up land that you control that's part of your country so that you can have a truce is ridiculous. But I do want, Lord Benjamin's telling me that we've got, we have lots. Ooh. There you go. That must be the new one because I haven't seen that one.
This is the prequels from from a while ago. Man,
Ooh, I don't
man.
watch. I don't watch.
Yeah, I know. They're not dead. You haven't watched this movie because these actors are not dead. For everybody, that's what he says. He only likes old movies.
I only watch movies of dead people, with a couple exceptions, right? It's watch, it's better movies. I'm sorry.
I agree. I can't even.
So we have a lot of listeners. Thank you for listening. I want comments. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me to go. Stick my head in whatever. But I mean, this is. I don't understand how any objective person who's reasonably objective can look at these kind of facts and because don't judge people by their words, judge them by their actions.
That's right.
Based on those actions, I don't see how any reasonably objective person, if Israel is an important issue to you, if you understand that as goes Israel, so goes the West, and that this isn't about the Jews, right? If they drive the Jews into the sea, as we have said since we're blue in the face, if you're Christian, guys, you're next. Because this is about Judeo-Christian values. This has nothing to do with driving the Jews into the sea.
That's right.
Right?
We're next.
Well,
First the Saturday people, then the Sunday people.